Which celebrities are in jail right now? In 2025, some of Hollywood's biggest names, actors, rappers, reality stars, and even powerful moguls, are no longer walking red carpets. Instead, they're locked behind bars, serving time for shocking crimes that destroyed their careers. Today, we're exposing 10 celebrities rotting in jail in 2025, their crimes, their downfalls, and how their once glamorous lives turned into prison nightmares. Josh Duggar was once sold to the world as America's perfect son on 19 Kids and Counting. Behind the curtain, however, investigators uncovered one of the darkest celebrity scandals in recent memory. In 2021, Duggar was arrested after federal agents found his computer loaded with child sexual abuse material so disturbing that seasoned investigators called it the worst they'd ever seen. In court, prosecutors revealed that Duggar not only downloaded these horrific images, but actively attempted to conceal his trail. In 2022, he was sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison. Today, in 2025, the reality star who once preached family values is an inmate at a Texas facility, reviled even by fellow prisoners for his crimes. Tim Norman. On Welcome to Sweetie Pies, Tim Norman played the devoted son running a family restaurant. But behind the cameras, Norman was plotting something almost unthinkable, his own nephew's murder. In 2016, his nephew Andre Montgomery Jr. was gunned down. For years, the case went unsolved, until investigators uncovered chilling evidence. Norman had secretly taken out a $450,000 life insurance policy on Andre, then orchestrated a murder for hire to cash in. Phone records, insurance documents, and testimony all pointed straight to him. In 2023, Norman was sentenced to life in prison. What once looked like a story of family unity became one of reality TV's darkest betrayals. Michael Jace. Michael Jace played a conflicted cop on FX's The Shield, but in 2014 he became the criminal himself when jealousy pushed him to murder his wife, April. Prosecutors revealed he shot her multiple times inside their Los Angeles home while their young children watched. During trial, their son testified that he heard his father coldly say, "If you like running, then run to heaven," before pulling the trigger. In 2016, Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life. Now, in 2025, he's serving time at Corcoran State Prison, a fallen TV star stripped of everything but a prison jumpsuit. Will Hayden built fame as the star of Discovery's Sons of Guns, where he appeared as the ultimate firearms expert. But in 2014, disturbing allegations revealed his true nature. Hayden had been sexually abusing children, including his own daughter, for years. The testimony was stomach-turning. Hayden had used his authority and television fame to intimidate victims and hide decades of abuse. In 2017, he was sentenced to life plus 40 years without parole, and then handed yet another life sentence for separate crimes only months later. Once celebrated on national TV, Hayden now rots in a Louisiana prison, branded as one of reality television's worst predators. C. Murder Corey. C. Murder Miller had fame within reach. As the brother of rap mogul Master P, he was part of the Cash Money to No Limit era that ruled hip-hop in the late 90s. But in 2002, everything unraveled. Inside a Louisiana nightclub, a fight broke out and 16-year-old fan Steve Thomas was shot dead. Multiple witnesses identified Miller as the gunman. He was convicted in 2003, appealed, retried in 2009, and convicted again. Despite high-profile supporters like Kim Kardashian and Monica claiming witnesses were coerced, a federal judge upheld his life sentence in 2023. Now, in Angola State Prison, C. Murder will likely die behind bars. Rod Diggs. Ronald Rod Diggs. Herron wasn't just rapping about the streets, he was running them. Prosecutors said he led a violent sect of the Bloods in Brooklyn, tied to drug trafficking and at least 3 murders. In 2015, after a lengthy federal investigation, Rod Diggs was convicted. Prosecutors even used his own lyrics in court, pointing out how eerily they mirrored the crimes. His punishment? One of the harshest sentences in hip-hop history, 12 life terms plus 105 years. The aspiring rapper who wanted fame and fortune will now never leave prison alive. His bars, both lyrical and literal, sealed his fate. Danny Masterson. Masterson was once America's sarcastic stoner from That 70s Show. Off-screen, he was harboring a sinister secret. Between 2001 and 2003, Masterson drugged and raped women inside his Hollywood Hills home. For years, victims alleged that Masterson used his high-ranking status in the Church of Scientology to silence them. Netflix fired him from the ranch in 2017, but it wasn't until 2023 that justice was served. After grueling testimony, a jury found him guilty of rape. He was sentenced to 30 years to life. Now inmate BW3221, Masterson won't be eligible for parole until he's in his 60s. The once beloved sitcom star now spends every day in a prison cell. R. Kelly was a global superstar, the self-proclaimed king of R&B, with hits like Ignition, Remix, and I Believe I Can Fly. But behind the music was a predator hiding in plain sight. For decades, rumors swirled of Kelly's abuse of underage girls. In 2019, the bombshell documentary Surviving R. Kelly reignited the case. Federal prosecutors charged him with sex trafficking, racketeering, and producing child pornography. By 2021 and 2022, Kelly was convicted on all counts and sentenced to 31 years. In 2025, he remains in a North Carolina federal prison, disgraced and forgotten. His musical empire forever destroyed. YNW Melly rapper. YNW Melly skyrocketed to fame with his chilling track Murder on My Mind. In 2019, that song became reality. Prosecutors allege Melly shot and killed his two best friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sackchaser, then staged the crime scene to look like a drive-by shooting. The evidence: ballistics, text messages, and GPS data. His first trial in 2023 ended with a hung jury. But as of 2025, Melly remains in custody awaiting retrial, facing the possibility of life in prison or even the death penalty. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was once the most powerful producer in Hollywood. Films like Pulp Fiction, Chicago, and Shakespeare in Love bore his name. Behind the Oscars, however, was a reign of terror. For decades, Weinstein allegedly abused and assaulted dozens of women, including some of Hollywood's most famous actresses. Protected by silence and power, he seemed untouchable, until 2017, when the Me Too movement shattered the dam. In 2020, Weinstein was convicted in New York and sentenced to 23 years. In 2023, California added another 16. At 72, with failing health, he will almost certainly die behind bars. The man who once decided careers now spends his last years shuffling through prison corridors, his empire of fear reduced to nothing. From sitcom stars to rappers, athletes, reality TV figures, and Hollywood moguls, these cases prove one thing: fame, fortune, and power don't erase justice. These 10 celebrities rotting in jail in 2025 traded luxury for life sentences, red carpets for razor wire, and applause for silence. Which of these shocking stories surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other deep dives into celebrity scandals, prison sentences, and Hollywood's darkest secrets.